Hi everyone, today we're going to focus on the importance of business branding and why it is one of the most important steps in launching out your business. For me, it's a make or break decision, but we're going to have a special guest for you today. Well, you already know who she is because she's in the thumbnail. So, let's go. All right, so branding is important because in the early stages of your business, it gives you a boost. You want a lot of eyes on you. That's why it is important to me. When I now started, the number one thing I focused on was branding. Before I even registered my business, before I even started anything, before I even launched out anything, I focused on my brand, developing what I wanted my company to be, trying to give people the understanding of what this is all about. I started working with a company called Rolo Graphics. They were the first person who did my logo. I didn't meet my wife as yet, but my sole focus was just the messaging of my company, the look, how people feel about my brand. So that's the thing I worked on the most before I even launched out anything. Right. So when you think about Nike, is it Nike or Nike? I'll go with Nike. You think about the top sports brand. You think about shoes, sports shoes. You think about the Jordan brand. You think about the tick symbol. That is their brand identity. You think about professionalism and top notch. That is the first shoes or the first sportswear brand that you go for. That is their brand identity. I said that already, but I'm saying it again. That is their brand identity. All right, so now I'm going to turn you over to the person who transformed our brand. My first two logos are amazing. I still use them today and I love them. I absolutely love them. But when she came on board, it was just a total transformation in terms of our direction, in terms of me having discussion with her and translating what I had in my mind, and she brought it to life. Sometimes it could be difficult as a creative trying to bring out what you have inside to somebody, and she got it instantaneously. And that's one of the reasons I got married to her. No, she's just amazing. She's just amazing, all around amazing. But it is important to have somebody who around you to push you and to develop what you're trying to portray out there. So, our VP, our creative director of Tensions Developmental Company, Kershelle Barker.
Hi, I'm Kershelle Barker, Creative Director of Creative Works Branding Agency. At Creative Works, we do editing, graphic design, and business branding services. We've been doing this unofficially for about 10 or 11 years, but registered in 2015. And since then, we've served clients in Trinidad and Tobago, Grenada, Antigua, the Bahamas, the UK, US, Canada, and even as far as Australia. We've had clients who were doing personal branding, so individuals, as well as larger companies and organizations. So you have some experience in this thing. So today I'm so happy to be on David's channel to talk to you all about branding. I'll be talking about what is branding first of all and why it's so important. Secondly, I'll talk about if you're going to invest in branding, what you should expect or require from the professional that you contract. And thirdly, how to make money from good branding. So first of all, what is branding and why is it so important? I like to use Jeff Bezos' quote that a brand is literally what people say about your business when you're not in the room. I think it's an excellent way to sum up branding because it's more than just what people see, but it's what they experience and therefore come to expect from interacting with your business or you as an individual when it comes to having a brand. So when people hear branding, they think of logo and brand colors. And yes, that's part of it, but that's not all. Your brand is a sum of your personality, your visuals, and your communications. When it comes to personality, it's about what you're putting out. Are you more approachable or elite? Are you more classic or contemporary? More masculine or feminine? These are just some examples of where your brand personality can lie on the spectrum and therefore influence what your visuals look like and what your tone of communication would be. In terms of visuals, that would be your logo, your brand identity, your brand colors, any sort of artwork that you put out, and it should all be cohesive so that whenever someone sees your branding, they can follow it. You know, it's not green today and pink tomorrow. So it's all about having something that's consistent and being able to follow over time. So now that we know what branding is, why is it so important? Think about any brand that you follow or that you like or that you buy from. What made you buy from them? Chances are it was their branding. Of course, their marketing as well, but you can't have a successful marketing without good branding. So it might have been their logo that caught you. It might have been the way that they display their products or services. It might have been their color scheme, and all of these are parts of branding. And if you want to position yourself as an individual who wants clients or wants to put your music out there, because I know David's channel appeals to artists, then you have to be conscious of what your brand messaging is and to be able to attract the right clients. And we'll talk more about making money with branding in number 3. But it's really important because it can help you elevate your brand, or you can end up stuck in a rut if you don't have good enough branding. So now that you understand why branding is so important, you might be an artist or a business owner or just an individual wanting to start your personal brand, and you're ready to get started on a professional branding job. And yes, we're in the information age. There are some things that you can do for yourself, but there are some things I just think you should not compromise on, and you should get a professional to get it done. So these are some of the things that you should, if you're going to a professional, expect or demand from them, or if they're not offering these things, you probably should look somewhere else. Shameless plug. So number 1, usually you would start with your logo. Now, if you're going to a professional, it should be someone that understands your branding or the ideas that you have for your branding, I should say, and that would start from some sort of consultation. In the case of Creative Works, we do what is called a logo brief. If you're starting from ground zero, you have nothing, you just don't know where you're going, then we would start with a brand discovery session. And this is super important because as a professional, you don't want to go to someone who's just going to say, okay, the name of your business is XYZ, and just put together a logo for you and say, here, take that. It should be a collaborative process. So look for someone who wants to hear from you, first of all, to understand your needs, your direction, so that whatever logo is produced is done for you. Secondly, you should walk away with more than just your logo. I do have clients that come to me and say, I just want a logo, but that's not enough. Yes, having your logo files are important, but it should come with a brand identity. What does that mean? It's a summary of what your logo means and how to use it correctly. I see so many clients with small businesses using their logo incorrectly. They change the colors, so you have one day they're in yellow, then pink, then green. That's confusion in branding. Sometimes they might stick it into the corner of their artwork and it's chopped off. That's a no-no. So these are things that the regular person may not know or understand, and that's why it's important to have a brand guide that tells you how to use your logo properly, what your logo colors are, so that no matter where you go, where you use your logo, you're making sure you're always getting the correct colors, which is super important. Also, if there are fonts used in your logo, you get to know what those fonts are, so maybe you can use those fonts in your other artwork or in your documents and things like that. Again, for cohesive branding. And thirdly, if you recall what we discussed when I was defining branding, we have to focus on messaging. And if you go to a professional to help with your branding, again, it's a collaborative process. So they should understand your needs and where you're trying to go with your business or yourself as a personal brand. And therefore, you should get some help there in terms of your messaging and so maybe even social media use. So it depends on, I know different professionals offer different packages. We do as well. And so it depends on the extent of the services that you need. But if this is something that you do need, your provider should be able to assist with it. And that's where Creative Works has an edge, because we do also provide editing services and copywriting and social media management and media expertise. So it's pretty much a one-stop shop. Yeah, but if you do choose to go somewhere else, because there are so many great options, ensure that it's somebody that you could work with, that you can have a good professional relationship with, and that can help you evolve your brand as you go. And now, thirdly, the part that we all like to talk about: how can we make money from branding? So to start off this section, I'm going to use one of my favorite clients. I mean, all my clients are my favorite clients, but Dejaness who I think is an excellent case study when we're talking about branding. Dejaness came to me a few years ago to rebrand. And so we did their logo, new brand identity, and their product packaging. And over the course of the last couple of years, they've really expanded. They have their products in multiple stores, and their branding is just so beautiful that when I see it, I'm impressed. And it's not just because we've done the logo and stuff. They've taken that logo and their brand identity, and they've used it in their branding so well, and their marketing is so on point that they're seeing great success right here in Trinidad and Tobago and internationally. So, why are they a good case study? Because they understand the importance of branding and how to reach their target clientele. And that's how you make the money. You have to first understand where your clients are, what they want to see, and therefore what you can provide for them, and then how to get them to turn over that money. So, where are your clients? Where they're frequently spending their time, where they're scrolling looking for new products or services. In our case, we don't really use Instagram that much. I don't really like Instagram because we don't get quality leads from there. We get a lot of messages asking about our services, but then it might be out of their price range or just not a good fit. We actually get more clients from Facebook, and in most cases, our clients come from referrals. So you might not see us posting very often on social media, but we're always booked. And it's largely in part because our clients refer us to their friends, family, colleagues. And that's a really important part of our branding. The customer experience that brings them back and helps them want to share with others, So you have to determine where your clients are and where you're getting the most quality leads. That might be Facebook, that might be Instagram. If your target is younger persons, that might be TikTok. Yeah, it might be your direct website, or like with our case, it might be referrals and word of mouth. So wherever you see you're getting the most quality leads, that's where you should focus your branding and your marketing efforts, and that's where you should tweak your messaging to meet the clients that you need. Then you need to know, what do your clients want to see? Once you know what catches their eye and the price point that they're willing to pay for that service, then the right people will find you and be willing to spend that money. So if you put across branding that looks elite, feels exclusive, looks high-end, and then you have a high-end price tag, you're going to attract people who have the money to spend. If you're looking to offer more affordable services for clients on a more limited budget, and you have the ability to offer a lower price point, then those are the clients you're going to attract, and that's how you know you're going to pull them in. So you can choose wherever you are on that spectrum and use your branding and marketing tools to attract them, pull them in, and turn them from a lead into a client or customer. And then you've hooked them, you've gotten them in your inbox or on the phone or in your email, and they're telling you, okay, I'm interested, I want to buy. How do you close the sale? You have to make sure that your customer experience, which is also part of your branding, is an experience that they're willing to pay their money for. Sometimes it's not just all about the product or service. I've had cases where I reached out to a company to purchase something, had terrible customer service, and didn't bother, went somewhere else. So it's really important that that branding that we talk about, that starts with the visuals and the communication and ends with getting the customer and serving the customer, that all of it has to be tight so that you have an enjoyable customer experience from beginning to end, and therefore get people who are more willing to spend their money. And bonus tip, if you have products or services, or you're taking your personal branding seriously, I would highly recommend getting a website. Even if it's as simple as a one-page website that gives your information and you prefer to be contacted directly, then that's fine. Or if you have an extensive range of services or products that you want to showcase, I would really recommend getting a website. Your website is your online home. Let's say Facebook crashes tomorrow. Let's say Instagram changes how they do things in terms of businesses. What if TikTok fails to capture actual clients for businesses anymore? Then what are you going to do? I remember there was a time that WhatsApp was down for a few hours and people went crazy. What would happen if these things no longer exist? Your website should always be there. So it's a home that people could come to even if social media stops or the algorithms change and you can no longer market effectively. Your website is your real estate on the internet, and that is a more reliable way of bringing clients to one space to see everything that you have to offer. So I've taken up enough of your time. I hope that you've learned something. And if you have any questions or are ready to take your branding to the next level, I would recommend Creative Works Branding Agency. But of course, even if you go somewhere else, remember the tips that I've given you here to make sure that what you get is what you need and will help you push your business or yourself forward.
That was a lot of information, so if you have any questions, you can leave it in the comment section. Kershelle and I will get back to you, and if you want to book a consultation, you can visit Creative Works website, creativeworks.com, and we will talk further. So, thanks for sticking it out with me. Thanks for being here till the end. And remember, there's progress in your patience. Have a good day. I'll see you next day.